What's going on, everyone? It's T30 Drifts, and welcome back to another Forza Motorsports video. Sorry, that was a weird pause right there. I don't know why I did that. I never know if I should say Forza Motorsport 8 or just call it Forza Motorsport. But anyways, we are here on Forza Motorsport, and we're doing more online racing. Today's lesson is consistency. So, you will see what I mean by that. But anyways, our circuit today is VIR Virginia International Raceway. I love this circuit. I actually enjoyed this circuit on Forza Motorsport 7, but I like it even more on Forza Motorsport 8. This circuit feels way better now that we can run curbs. So it actually allows us to carry a lot more speed. It's a lot more flowy. It is very, very satisfying to get the circuit right, or at least as right as I did. I really enjoyed it. We did race in the 2017 Porsche number 92 911, which this was a great car. It sounds amazing. It feels excellent to drive. Overall, it was a joy.
Use the full width of the track on the race line through them so you can keep your speed as high as possible.
But anyways, we're going to jump right into this car. As you can see, we went ahead and we rented this 911, and we're going to load into the circuit. Now, I am recording this audio after the fact, so this is not a live reaction. It was pretty late when I was playing this, so I didn't want to be talking and making a bunch of noise in the office. But we're coming into the first corner and just trying to feel it out, braking pretty early. This was my first time playing VIR on Forza Motorsport 8, so I didn't quite know what to expect. So you can see it running into the grass, and that sort of throws our traction off, and we just go sliding into the wet grass, almost into the wall. It's pretty terrifying. And then as we look back, we actually saw the person behind us made the same mistake, almost hit the wall, but they teleported out of there, luckily. We're going to let this driver go by and then rejoin. That is racing etiquette, folks. That's how you do it, okay? You need to check and make sure that nobody else is racing or coming at you before you rejoin the circuit. So you can see here with the proximity markers, we've got a lot more room on those curbs now, which is great. Also, combine that with the fact that the curbs don't completely throw you around like they used to. This makes for a really fun experience. You can actually throw your wheels over the curb slightly into the grass, and the grass will slow you down, which actually can help rotate the car over towards that turn. So that is something that you might pick up on if you have a keen eye as you continue watching this video. Got another driver off. Everyone's going off. And what I'm thinking here as I was driving this right now was, this course is treacherous. I've already gone off myself. I've seen a number of other people go off. So that's going to be something that we really need to watch out for. That's where this consistency comes into play. You can be extremely quick in this race, but if you lose it one or two times, then that could throw your whole race off. So what we're trying to do here in this practice session is really just get a good feel for what the limits of the car are, what the limits of the track is, and just trying to keep it on the tarmac. So we're not taking the best racing line here, but definitely I'm focused right now on keeping it within the track limits. These drivers are fighting right now in a practice session, which is completely ridiculous, but I guess it works. This will So this is the other reason why this circuit can be very tricky, and why consistency is key here, because there are not a lot of really great passing opportunities. You see, it's very narrow, especially in the rain. There's pretty much one driving line, one racing line that you can take through this circuit. It's very, very hard to go around the outside here, and if you attempt the inside on most of the turns, you will end up dive bombing somebody, and that's not a good look. So you do have some passing opportunities on the straights and some of the larger braking zones like this turn, if you don't run it wide like I did here. I decided that's enough practice. Let's jump into the qualifying. So here we are. So we're just gonna try and get a good run towards the start finish line. And on the front straight, we're going to go ahead and start our qualifying. Now, we didn't get rid of all of our fuel. We should have lost some fuel, but we forgot. So we're going for it as it stands. Good first corner. Not the best, but definitely solid. There's good pace to that. Carry a lot of speed. And that also translates as we do run a little bit wide, but end up bringing it all the way out to the outside right there. Again, a little bit late on the brakes, causing us to run wide. So these are things that we know we need to work on at the beginning of the lap. Again, I'm just sort of trying to feel it out on this first qualifying lap. I'm trying to push harder than I did in practice, but I am very, very focused now on keeping it on the track. That was a pretty great corner there. Run it out. Use all of this curb as much as you can, although being careful not to disturb the car. You have to turn in very smooth so that the curb does not disturb the balance of the car. That will cause you to spin if you're too heavy on the power. But so far, this isn't a terrible qualifying lap. I wouldn't say that we've gotten quite into the groove yet, but we're bringing it around and back onto the front straightaway, and that was a solid lap. Let's see, one person is qualified at 1:36, and we put in 1:29.6. Pretty good. So we're going in for our second lap of qualifying. First turn was pretty good. Could have carried maybe a little bit more speed, but overall I'm happy with that turn. This one much better, much tighter, tidy. And we're already up by 0.3 of a second, which is excellent. Now again, we run it a little bit wide here, but not too bad. Using all of these curbs right here, even some of the grass. And we are up by 0.6 now, so we're gaining quite a bit of time on this second lap. Tires are warm, although a little bit worn. We're going to carry this out to the outside again and keep trying to use that curb. And this section is just so much fun if you can get the line through there. We did drop 2 tires, but luckily we were able to bring it back in and complete that corner actually pretty well. At this point, up 0.8 of a second. So this is turning out to be a really great qualifying lap here. And let's see how we finish this lap. We lost a little bit in just those last 1 or 2 turns, down to about 0.6 of a second up. And crossing the line, we made 3.5 of a second. Not too bad. Now, at this point, I see that I'm number 1 in qualifying so far. There are 8 minutes left in qualifying, so, you know, anything could happen here, but at this point my tires are pretty worn. This is just giving me a good idea of, by lap 3, my tires are going to be hurting, and I'm going to need to be considerate of that. So, as usual, on this last lap, I'm really just trying to push and see how my car is reacting to worn tires. And surprisingly, this Porsche feels pretty good actually. The turn in is a bit slower. It will understeer a little bit more here. But for the most part, this car is pretty good. You can use its power. You can use the rear wheel drive and some of the curbage to actually rotate the car using the back tires a little bit. Throwing it over curbs, whatever. As you can see, I lost it here, which is fine. I already set what I thought was a pretty good qualifying. So again, I'm just trying to get a feel for how does the car react on these worn tires. And it feels pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about this. I'm just going to let off and coast it out. Somebody stopped up here. Let's weirdly go around the outside of them. And there we have it. So with 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes left in qualifying, we are P1. There was a bit of weirdness going on here in the pit lane. I don't know if this is really allowed in the race, but we've got some cars driving into my Porsche, parking on top of me, teleporting in. So race stewards might have some opinions on that. We're going to go ahead and fix our fuel setup. We are going to stick with wet tires, but we're going to bring this right the way down to 6 laps of fuel, and that way we will not need to refuel during the race. We have some more possessed cars flipping over, which this was actually pretty hilarious. I know this is obviously a bug, and a lot of people want this fixed. This isn't game breaking for me, I just think it's kind of funny. I was pretty excited for this race. I felt pretty good about the weather conditions. I felt pretty good about the car, and we got a big lobby, which it is so great to see big lobbies like this in Forza. I was very tired of seeing 1 or 2 or 3 cars on Forza Motorsport 7. I'm hoping that this game can maintain a good player base, and I think that it will. So yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about this. It is really fun to play with 20 plus players, so that is really awesome to see, and just another reason to enjoy this game. Now, I'm just checking on the top position driver because we ended up not finishing in P1 quali, but actually P2. Now, I'm running wet tires. They seem to have mediums on. And it looks like they're going to start the race with mediums. So, I don't know if they forgot to change their setup, or I don't know, maybe they just didn't have as good tire management, but we'll be starting off in position 2 nonetheless. Okay, so here we go. The VIR Forza Motorsport. 6 laps. We take first position right off the bat. Excellent stuff. You love to see it. What you don't love to see is going way too hot into turn 1, getting rammed, and accidentally causing a whole mess. You tell me, do I deserve to go to jail for that? I do feel very bad for the driver of that Dodge Viper. I apologize, my friend, RIP. I'm sorry. But the show must go on, so that's what we're gonna do. And at this point, I want to keep it tidy. I don't want to make any more mistakes like that. The other drivers are all looking at me and probably a little bit terrified. But let's try to show them that I'm serious about this. I'm not a typical Forza rammer. Alright, hard right-hander. Actually complete that pretty good. Run a little bit wide. You can see that there's a bit of a drop-off right there that can kind of throw your balance off. But again, first lap, we need to get settled in here. Consistency is key, so let's just try to be consistent and keep it on the track. So far, so good. Very clean corners. Just a lot of commitment here. You really need to know what your car does at its speed and commit to it. Go for it. Now, first lap, we're up by 2 seconds. That crash at the beginning definitely helped. This could have been a very different race, but we are coming across the start line with 2.5 seconds in the lead. We're going to actually bring it back and maybe not overshoot turn 1 this time. This left-hander a little bit wide, but coming through there pretty well. I'm not going to talk about wet versus dry racing lines right now. I need to learn more about that myself. But kind of some of those turns going in a little bit wider through the middle. Maybe better in the rain. I would have to do some more research, maybe some testing, but yeah, we're going to bring this hard right-hander around and not run it super wide this time. Not disturb the balance of the car. Second place, Shad Oziner, 1.9 seconds behind me. So he's getting pretty close. But if we can just stay consistent on this track, he will not have opportunities to pass us. So that's what we're going to do. This is the biggest opportunity for passing right here, and as you can see, Shad did make a mistake, and that drops him down, or them down, to 5 seconds behind. Which leaves our second place, Dig Dug 5, with 3.9 seconds to make up. Coming into the first corner again. Not the best, but we carried enough speed through there, so we have so far kept it on the track in this race, which is excellent to see. No penalties yet, and hopefully none. We did get pretty close there to out of track limit on the right hand side, but we kept it all tidy. We're just going to keep on keeping on here. Just really enjoying this, and at this point in the race, I feel like I'm, pretty much in my flow here. Dig Dug 3.7 seconds, 3.6 now behind. But let's see if we can pull a little bit ahead on this section. Yes, so we are keeping Dig Dug behind. Our tires are starting to go. They are about halfway, and they will soon be turning yellow. So I am thinking about when do I need to pit. Of course, I'm doing pretty well up here in the lead, and it seems like the guys behind are fighting quite a bit. I don't want to pit until at least the halfway point, which isn't lap 3 out of 6. It's actually lap 4 out of 6. I think this would have been the halfway point, because technically you cross over and then now you're on to lap 4 out of 6. But I decided, hey, my car is feeling pretty good, so we're going to keep on going. Just to prove how much time we lost, we are currently up by 4.5 seconds, but you will see the tire start to drop off here, and my speed start to diminish quite a bit. So at this point, I am noticing less grip in the front, so you will see me powering out of a lot more corners to try to rotate the back end around. Dig Dug, it looks like, made another mistake, which drops them back to 7 seconds behind. So again, consistency. One mistake can cost you many seconds, if not the entire race. So that's why what I'm really focused on here is not overdriving my vehicle. That is the most critical thing. But unfortunately, as you'll see in a few seconds, we did sort of overdrive it. Too much speed, and we drop the left tires off. Lose a little bit of time there, and we decide, you know what? We need to pit now. Our tires are dying, but we're going to go with the wet tires, and we're going to skip a refuel. 2.7 seconds pit crew doing excellent work. Somebody needs to give them a raise. And to my surprise, everyone else is in the pits, so I'm still ahead. First position, brand new wet tires, with only 2 laps remaining. We are on 5 out of 6, so it's 2 laps remaining, up by 3.5 seconds. And again, we made a mistake here. This was critical. Look how much time we lost. From up almost 4 seconds to now down by 1.5 seconds, 1.5 seconds down. So within one corner, one mistake, we lost something like 4 or 5 seconds. That is absolutely huge. You can drive 1 or 2 seconds slower than your opponent around the circuit, just being safe, and that would make up for a couple of laps versus running off one time. So I'm noticing that this guy does not have a lot of traction. He's sliding around a lot. I think that Chance might be going for, they might have done an early pit stop and then their tires are, in bad shape now. But as you can see here, I'm having trouble getting around him. So not only did I lose time on that corner, I'm also losing time behind Chance right now. We're going to try to get around Chance as soon as we can. We're trying everything that we can, outside, inside, try and go in the slipstream. But the Acura NSX, this thing has a lot of power. It's got great straight line speed, so we can't do it here, but we're going to try to look in this first corner. I end up going too wide. Let's see if we can make it work around the outside. We cannot. So we look towards the inside, it's closed. Look towards the inside, it's closed. We need to let off. And then we go for this one. A little bit dirty there, a little bit of contact. But Chance does end up running wide and we take it on the inside, right the way around there. You tell me, was that dirty racing? You tell me. It was the final lap. We needed to get around Chance. We made it happen. I was not going to lose any more time behind Chance. But that's the thing. This circuit, you really need to get the job done. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck. So, let's carry on. Running wide here again. Just pushing too hard. It's easy to do. The pressure is on here. I want to bring home this victory. So we can do this, but we can't make any more mistakes. That is the thing. However, we bring it around to the back straight, towards into the front straight. I guess it's not really a back straight, but it's the back of the front straight. Sure. We pulled it off, finished the race. P1, 0 penalties. An improvement of 1 position. And we did get the fastest clean lap. No, we didn't. I lied to you. Key to JC. Key? Is that the key? I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know if that's key. The real key. But, yeah, it was very good. I was happy with that race. I mean, it's sort of difficult to speak on what's going on when I guess I'm in the lead for most of the race, but that just goes to show how a little mistake can lose you a lot of time. If you want to improve in your driving on Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon, or any other racing game, you really need to focus on being consistent. And the first way to do that is not with getting consistent lap times, but is just to consistently complete the lap. This Porsche is looking insane next to me. It looks very angry and a little bit scary. But what isn't scary? Well, first place. First place is not scary. Look how excited I am. Does it look like I'm scared there? No. So, that's VIR for you. Really fun track. I really enjoyed that race. Probably one of my favorite races, one of my favorite cars so far in the game. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you maybe learned something, because learning is good. And if you didn't learn something, then that's okay. At least if you enjoyed it, then That's pretty cool too. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Have you tried VIR on Forza Motorsport? Did you like it? And you tell me, am I a noob? Do I deserve to go to jail for that turn 1 on the first lap of the race? Or am I just a noob and you can beat me on the track? You let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you like the video, then hit the like button. If you like my channel, then subscribe. So again, thanks for watching. I hope everybody takes care, has a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.